Hello everyone! In this video, we are going to talk about compound inequality. So when we say compound inequality, these are two inequality statements that are either joined by the word and by the word or. But in this video, we will talk about the compound inequality joined by the word and. Okay? And some of the inequalities can be combined into just one inequality or to form just one inequality, and in that case, or that's the reason why compound inequality can also be defined as inequalities containing two inequality symbols. Okay, so what do we mean when we say that the compound inequality is joined by the word and or the word and indicates that the inequality are true at the same that the two inequalities, may typo dito, that the inequality are true at the same time. Yung two inequality are true at the same time. So, okay? So, it is the overlap or intersection of the solution sets for the individual statements. Meaning that since you are given with two inequalities, the two inequalities has to be true at the same time. Kaya intersection or yung overlap lang nung dalawang inequality yung magiging solution natin. Okay? Only the part that overlaps. So, let us have some examples. Okay? So, yung example natin, illustrate din natin in interval notation and in graph. Okay? So, I have here, x is greater than or equal to negative 1 and x is less than 5. I-visualize muna natin siya. So, let us sketch it first using a graph. Okay? So, simulan na. Dito ko lagay yung 0, 0, negative 1, negative 2, 4, and then 5. Okay. Dagdagan natin. 6. Okay. So, for the first inequality, x is greater than or equal to negative 1. So, it is from negative 1. We shade kasi equal. And then, greater than, so we shade to the right. Okay. We need to shade to the right. Yan. Basta everything is shaded on the right. Okay? And then, yung isa, x is less than 5. Let's use a different color. Simula naman siya sa 5 hanggang and then we will not shade 5 kasi hindi siya included. And then we shade to the left kasi less than. Okay. So, this portion here, yan. Etong portion na to sa gitna, in the middle, kapalan ko lang ng konti. Okay. So, this part is the intersection of the two graph. Oh, sorry, until 5. Simula dito, shaded kasi it is shaded in this graph. And then, yung dito, yung 5 is not included. Okay. So, this part here, yung nasa taas, that is the solution set that is defined or that is being defined by x greater than negative 1 and x is less than 5. If this has to be true at the same time kasi nga yung word na end. Okay? So, ito lang siya. Ibig sabihin, meron siyang boundary na dalawang number which is negative 1 and 5. So, that is why this type of inequality can be combined into just one inequality and it can be written in this manner. Okay. Kaya ang basa natin dito is x is greater than or equal to negative 1 but is less than 5. Or instead of using but, and less than 5. So again, this is x is greater than or equal to negative 1 and less than 5. Kasi nga, we have combined these two inequality to form this inequality. So, itong dalawang yan, pareho yung ibig sabihin. Okay? So, in interval notation, kasi nga intersection intersection of the two inequality that are given. So, ito muna, kung isusulat natin siya in interval notation, okay, it is kasi greater than, so negative 1 including negative 1 hanggang positive infinity, and then eto namang isa is less than, so 5 negative infinity until 5 is not included. Wait, I will interchange these two. So, itong unang to is from negative infinity until 5, and then yung pangalawa is from negative 1 until positive infinity. But instead of union, intersection ang gagamitin natin because we only need the intersection. O ngayon, ito, hindi pa natin makikita yung intersection agad niyan. That's why we need to write it in another manner na makikita yung boundary. Kasi nga, meron na siyang boundary. Yung number na, yung dalawang inequality natin. So, ito, instead of writing it in this manner, okay, we should write it in or as boundary between two numbers. So, we write negative 1 and then 5 and then negative 1 is included, 5 is not included, kaya parenthesis dun sa 5. So, ito ang mas appropriate na number or the value ng x is greater than or equal to negative 1 and x is less than 5 if we are to write it in interval notation. Kasi ito na talaga yung intersection ng dalawa. Okay? So, yan. That's why in writing this example, inuna ko muna yung graph para ma-visualize nyo yung ibig sabihin nito. Okay? Sige, let us have another example. So, we have x is less than or equal to negative 3 and x is greater than or equal to negative 12. Okay? So, kung mabivisualize nyo na siya agad and write it in just one interval notation, kasi nga kapag end siya, we can combine it in one interval notation if there is an intersection between the two inequality. Okay? So, ito, makikita natin na value that are less than negative 3. Okay? So, we know that negative 3 will be the highest number in this inequality. Dito naman, x is greater than or equal to negative 12. So, we know here that x would be the smallest value in this inequality. So, this means that if we are to write it in just one inequality, 12 will be the smallest number. Okay? And then, negative 3 will be the largest number. Okay. So, this means that x is greater than or equal to negative 12 and less than or equal to negative 3, which satisfies both of our inequality. Okay. So, in interval notation, if we are to write it, then it will be from negative 12 until negative 3. Yan na yung interval notation niya. Okay? And then, in graph, okay? So, pag sinulat nyo siya sa graph, hindi nyo na kailangan ilagay pareho. Kasi ito na lang naman yung intersection nila eh. Which is negative 12 hanggang negative 3. Siguro, I will start with 0 here. Negative 1. Gawin nating by 2 kasi medyo madami. By 2, negative 2, negative 4, Okay? So, simula negative 3 hanggang negative 12. Shaded pareho because both are included. Ito yan. And then, we shade everything in between. Okay, yan na lang. So, ngayon, kung hindi nyo siya ma-visualize agad, na ito yung magiging intersection ng dalawang inequality natin, then you can graph each of the inequality and then just highlight the intersection part. Okay, pwede naman gumamit ng mas light na color or pencil dun sa ibang part. So, kagaya niyan, if we are to graph each sketch the graph of each inequality before or to identify the intersection, pwede naman. So, ito, x is less than negative 3. So, start tayo sa negative 3. Dito ko na lang sa baba ilalagay. Negative 3 and then pababa. We shade to the left. And then, yun namang kabila ay simula negative 12. Okay, so negative 12 until positive infinity. So, we shade to the right naman. Ayan. Yung portion na nag-o-overlap, yun na lang yung i-shade nyo dito sa number line. Or yun na lang yung gawin yung pen in your number line. Okay? So now, for compound inequality that is joined by the word and, we have 3 possibilities sa magiging result natin. Yung una, etong example ko ngayon, tsaka example number 1, yun yung ang naging result is there is really an intersection between the two that is determined by boundaries. Meron siyang dalawang boundary na number. Okay? Kaya ang naging result niya is just one inequality that contains 2 inequality symbol. So, yan yung unang possibility. Nagkaroon nga ng boundary or the result is a range of number. Ngayon, ito naman yung isang possibility na maging result ng ating inequality joined by the word and. Yung next example natin. Let's say we have the inequality x is greater than negative 2 and x is greater than or equal to 5. Okay. So, x is greater than negative 2 and x is greater than 5. Drawing muna natin siya sa graph. So, dito ko lagay yung 0, negative 1, negative 2. Okay, yan. So, ito, x is greater than negative 2. Negative 2 is not included. So, open circle siya. And then, greater than, we shade to the right. Okay. And then, ito naman, x is greater than or equal to 5. So, we start with 5. Okay. And then, we shade to the right. 5 is included. So, shaded ito. Yan. Okay. So, as you can see here, ang nag-overlap na part sa kanila is a portion of the graph of the first one. And it is going in the same direction. So, ang intersection nilang dalawa is from 5, including 5 kasi may shade naman siya, and then going to the right. Which means that this inequality, okay, can just be expressed as x is greater than or equal to 5. Or pag sinulat natin yung x is greater than or equal to 5, mako-contain niya na yung parehong inequality dahil yun ang intersection nila. Yung x is greater than 5. Okay? So, pag sinulat natin siya in interval notation, then the result is just x is greater than or equal to 5. Ay, sorry. Hindi pa interval notation. This inequality is just equivalent to x is greater than or equal to 5, which is in interval notation, 5 until positive infinity. Yan na lang siya kasi yun lang intersection niya eh. In this case, this is a compound inequality joined by the word and But our inequality is not arranged between two numbers. So, wala siyang naging boundary na dalawang number. Isang number lang yung naging boundary niya. Okay? Again, this happens if one of the inequality can also define, or the intersection between the two inequality is one of the given inequality. Yun ang nangyayari. Wala siyang range between two numbers. Walang boundary na dalawang number. Papunta din sa infinity. So, that's another possibility. Sige, ano pa yung pangatlong possibility na magiging result natin sa compound inequality joined by the word and? Okay, let's have x is greater than 10 and x is less than 8. Okay, so yan yung ating inequality. Okay, so drawing natin siya sa graph para makita natin kung anong magiging result kaya nito. Yan, di na ako nag-start sa 0. Anyway, may arrow naman siya. Ito ay x is greater than 10. 10 is not included. So, that is from 10 going to positive infinity. Yan. Ito naman, x is less than 8. So, from 8 until from negative infinity pala to until 8 kasi we will shade to the left because x is less than 8. Okay. Ngayon, ano ang naging intersection nila? Wala. Kasi hindi nag-overlap yung dalawang graph natin, 'di ba? Wala siyang overlap. Hindi siya nag-connect. Hindi rin siya nag-overlap. Ibig sabihin, this compound inequality is not possible. Which means wala tayong solution. So, no solution ito. No solution. Ang lalagay natin. No solution. Because, x cannot be greater than 10 and at the same time, less than 8. Kasi nga, again, for compound inequality, the two inequality that are given should be satisfied at the same time. Okay? So, dahil magkaiba naman to, isang greater than, isang less than, kahit na i-combine nyo siya ng isang inequality, kasi ito if you want to combine it in one inequality, then x will be, sabi dito, no, x should be greater than 10, yan, but less than 8. So, yan siya pag pinag-combine, diba? Kasi magkaiba naman yung inequality symbol. But it is not possible, kaya wala siyang solution. Okay? Again, for compound inequality joined by the word and, your two inequality should be true at the same time. And it should overlap. Kaya nga intersection yung kinukuha natin. Intersection. Okay? So, that is another possibility in which we cannot obtain a solution from our given compound inequality. Okay? So, that is the end of our discussion for compound inequality joined by the word and. If you want to learn about compound inequality joined by the word or, you can check the other video that is posted on this channel. Okay? Thank you for watching. Bye!